Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever whenever you're listening in. My name is Terry. It's Tuesday with Terry. I'm your guy, Terry, your friend. Still here, talking to you live from Austin, Texas. Again today, where the sun is hot, the barbecue is sweet, and all those drinks are free when you want to come over and hang out with me. What are we going to talk about today? I got an idea for you. Something interesting been going on for me. I've been looking at a lot of different business opportunities, and maybe you've been looking for some business opportunities as well. Maybe you're looking at things. Maybe you're looking for a side hustle. Maybe you're looking for a second or third investment. Maybe you're looking to change and deals. But in any case, I thought what I would talk to you about today or share with you is, what do I look at when I'm looking for another gig or another business to invest in or another concept? What do I look at? In the last 60 days, I probably looked at 20 to 30 different business concepts. I've looked at pickleball. I've looked at yoga. I've looked at different fitness concepts without naming them. I've looked at med spas. I've looked at tiny homes or container homes to do some things there. I've looked at real estate investments. I've looked at kids franchises. I've looked at a variety of different concepts and even some coaching opportunities and all of that. I go back to the same thing. I take as good notes as I can. I talk to a lot of people about it. But I thought what I would do today is share with you what I'll call the 10 things that I look at in terms of making a decision whether I should move forward or I should put it on pause. So let's get going. One of the things I think is important when you are looking at something is really just ask yourself is, what do you really love to do more than anything else? If I said, you can make all the money in the world by doing this, but man, I love this. Even if you didn't make a dime at it, do you love, telling jokes, doing stand-up? Do you love playing the guitar down on a corner in Key West, Florida someplace? Do you love serving people? Do you love talking to people? Do you love kids? Do you love Dogtopia? I looked at Dogtopia, and a couple different animal concepts. I looked at putt-putt courses. I mean, holy hell's bells, it was a lot. But a couple things is, what do you love to do? Remind yourself of that. And what are you really good at? And a lot of people that I know, I've been talking to folks and I try to get some feedback and they say, Terry, stick with what you know. And there's a guy that's involved with the young professional organizations. You see these in different towns, CEO groups or YPOs or young entrepreneur groups. And many of those guys say, listen, I don't really make money on things that I've tried when they aren't really my core strength. What I have always been able to do is make money on things that I knew. So I would say those are some of the things to think about is, what do you love? What are you really good at? Is that your core strength? Stick with what you know. How are you going to market or monetize it? Those are just some quick questions. And what's your heart tell you? What does your heart tell you? I mean, if you only had to work 2 days a week and could make all the money you wanted to make, what would you be doing? Is it passive income? Maybe you don't really have to be involved in it. You just want to invest in it, right? Some of those kind of things. So stick to what you're good at. Where do you find, where's your value? And most of the time for me personally is my value is when I can go into a situation and I can solve a problem or I can create something or I can build something. I'm pretty good at those pieces and parts. How can I solve a problem for a company? And then how can I take what I'm really good at and show that company how I can solve their problem or start a new company based around a current problem that exists amongst consumers, right? That would be pretty cool. And so you start making a list. Well, anyway, here's the top 10. Number 1, I got 1A and 1B. 1A is you love it more than anything. What is it that you love more than anything? If I said, what is it, man? Be looking for things that are around something you really love. You've heard it a million times. If you do the things you love, you never work another day in your life, right? Number 2, or 1B is, what don't you love? You better make that list too. Because I got to tell you, as I was building Orange Theory Fitness, man, early on, there were a lot of things I loved about it. But I can tell you later on, as my company got bigger, there was a lot of things I didn't love that I was doing. And so make sure you know what it is that you don't like to do, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're making the money, but you really don't like it. Number 2, what are you really good at? What are you really at the best at? What are you the best at in your industry? Or what are you known for? What does your reputation precede you at? What are you the best in the world at, man? Find out what that is. Write that down, because that will help you become clear about your next gig or your side hustle or a business opportunity. Number 3, as the franchise or the concept or the current business owners, or even yourself, if you are the current business owners, do you understand how you're going to market it, package it, and monetize it? What's the pricing? You've heard me talk about the 5 Ps, right? But what's the pricing programs going to be? What is the product offering or the packaging? How are you going to get this message out to the consumer? Or if it's business to business, how are you going to get the message out there? Number 4, is it a good business? And how do you know if it's a good business or not? What is the business model? Can this thing actually make money? And so you're going to need to do some forecasts. You're going to have to look at some financials. You're going to have to put some of your own financial forecasting in place and be able to look at it. If you're buying into a franchise, you want to talk with other franchise owners and see how they're doing, what their return on their investment is, what their EBITDA, their earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization is. So those are some of the things. Is it a good business model? Can this thing make money? And is it going to make a little bit of money? Or is it going to make, good money? So what is good money? Is it going to make 17% as a percentage of gross revenue, the earnings on gross revenue? Is it going to make 25%? Is it going to make 35%? How's this thing really going to do? Number 5, what is the capital required in order to get started into the business? And part B of that is, where are you going to find the money, honey? You got to find the money. Right? So one thing is, how much is it? That's great. Now you know how much it is. But even a better question is, how the heck am I going to find it? You got to be able to figure out how you're going to do that. And early on in my career I didn't have the money, so I had to take on a partner. And as the business and I opened up more locations, I was able to keep the equity that I would give out for the same amount of money to a much smaller equity piece until I didn't need the partners anymore and I could do it on my own. So I went and got small business loans. I went and got partners. I put some cash in myself, and that's how I got started. First 5 to 10 deals that I did was all with partners and with small business loans. But how are you going to, number 1 is, what is the capital? And don't just take somebody's word for it. Talk to multiple people that have done this prior to you and ask them to take a look at your financial forecast and make sure you're looking at it correctly. And this is called a sources and a use of funds. You have one list that is your source of money, where you're going to get the money. I'm going to put X amount of dollars in. I got 3 other guys that are going to put X amount of dollars in. I'm going to get an SBA loan, and that's going to equal the total amount of capital needed for the business. Then the uses of those funds. What are we going to spend it for? Well, we're going to spend it on a license fee or a franchise fee, or we're going to spend it on the build out, the construction, or we're going to spend it on equipment, or we're going to spend it on staffing in a pre-sale model. Whatever it is, you got to figure that out. Number 6 is a big one. I'm looking at a deal right now in the fitness industry, and these guys have a great idea. They have what I would consider to be a money-making idea, but here's what they don't have: proof of concept. Now, proof of concept is more than just one location that's open and running and it's profitable. That's great. But can you take that same model, that same business model, and can you put it in across the country and do the same thing and get the same result? Can you put it in the Northeast? Can you put it in the Northwest? Can you put it in the Southeast, in the Southwest, or in Central America and open up a location with similar demographics, similar income levels, similar population levels, and you can produce the same amount of results. Once you do that with 5 or 10 locations in multiple cities across the country, now you have something that could be potentially a national brand, and you have what's called proof of concept. 1 location does not equal proof of concept. 2 locations does not equal proof of concepts. 3 locations, still not proof of concept. You got to get proof of concept. In my mind, I think that's 5 to 10 locations in different markets and different cities. Number 7 is research. I always try to do as much research. I try to talk with economists. I try to talk with industry people. I talk to a lot of people about what's going on and what they think of that concept. And I try to get feedback, not only from business folks, but I try to talk to regular consumers, right? Regular people. I talk to my family. I'll talk to my relatives. I'll talk to my neighbors. I'll talk to my friends about it and get their feedback. Good, positive, bad, ugly, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. I try to talk to franchise owners if it's a franchise. I try to talk to franchise staff if it's a franchise. I try to look at trends. I look up the trends and, what are the top fitness trends in 2023? What are they predicting for the top fitness trends in 2024? Where is the market, or where is that industry heading? Where is it migrating to? I try to talk to industry leaders. Number 8 is I run it by my own personal advisory board. So I'll put a deck together of what I think this is. I'll put a deck of the concept. I'll explain the concept. I'll talk about site selection, locations, investment. I'll take a look at the financial forecast, some of the trends, and I will share that with my financial advisory, my personal advisory board, and I'll get their opinions. These are guys that have done business transactions a lot more than what I have. They also have some legal background. They have some accounting background, and they can give me more of a well-rounded business, legal, accounting, financial advice on whether this is a sound concept or not. Number 9, I talk to my spouse about it. Because the last thing I want to be doing is getting involved in something that I don't have the support of my wife, or in your case, maybe it's your companion, significant other, your life partner, whatever you call it. But I'm telling you, take that concept and make sure you get the buy-in of that person you're living with, because wouldn't it be terrible if you got involved in something and they weren't supportive of it? And the last one, number 10, is I always look, this is a piece of storytelling in every story in life and life itself. There's a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. And so when I take a look at a business, and if I'm going to get involved in a business or I'm going to get involved in something, I take a look at that and I say, where are they in the life cycle? Are they in the beginning? Are they in the middle? Are they toward the end? And how am I going to immerse myself into that story? And what is going to be Terry's beginning? What is going to be Terry's middle? And what is going to be Terry's exit strategy out of that? And what's the time frame for that? Is that 2 years? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Where do I start? How will I know I'm in the middle? And when will I know that it's time to exit and move on? And I try to lay that out so I have a good plan in front of me. And that's what I use and have been using over the last 75 days to look at different deals and look at different businesses and make some really good business sound decisions. Hopefully that was helpful for you today. These are some things I don't talk about a lot, but I thought it was something unique. It certainly is unique to me in the last 75 days and applying to what I'm looking at. So I thought I'd share it a little bit with you. But don't forget, listen in every Tuesday. Tell a friend, invite a friend to listen into some of these ideas, concepts, and podcasts if you find them useful. My name's Terry. I'm your friend. I'll see you next Tuesday.